Hey Bailey, I'm so excited to get to talk with you today. It's so great to see you again. We last spoke on May 10th of this year, the day after your big win. It's been almost 5 months since the BB Can 12 finale. How has life been for you since leaving the Big Brother Canada house?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so nice to see you again too. 5 months feels like 5 days sometimes. It's kind of like a fever dream for me now. Like I know it happened, but it feels like such a distant memory, but then it feels like I just got out at the same time. It's a very weird transition, but we're going back to normal and it's now that we're going into fall, it feels a little bit more like life can move on now for my brother.
So the past 5 months have flown by, but what's been the most challenging part of transitioning back to normal life after Big Brother?
Um Honestly, I think the culture shock of like being around people and big groups was like a really big thing for me at first. I was so used to just being around those 13 other people for so long. So just like seeing my friends again and being out in public and seeing strangers and like cars and planes, like it was kind of a weird culture shock. I think that would be the biggest challenge for me was just trying to get back into like normal life.
So let's get into Big Brother 26. Who were your favorite house guests this season?
Oh my gosh. Obviously Tucker. And Angela was a slow burn for me. I didn't like her at first, but she ended up being the most entertaining house guest. So if you're a fan of the show, you're just a fan of entertainment. So I have to say Angela and I think Quinn. Quinn is also someone that I really, really liked.
Who would have your vote for America's favorite player, and who do you think will win that?
I think Tucker should win it. He would have my vote. Yeah, Tucker.
So what are your thoughts on Tucker and Angela's gameplay this season?
I think both of their gameplays were pretty risky. I think that they took a lot of chances, but that's what we love to see watching a show like this. They did things that someone that is trying to be strategic and win the game wouldn't do necessarily. Using the veto on someone when you're on the block, just like acting on your paranoia 100% of the time. They're just very chaotic players, but they take risks, and that's why I loved it. But I they got away with a lot more than they should have, in my opinion.
Do you think that Tucker's gameplay is similar at all to someone you know very well, Ty from season 11 of Big Brother Canada?
No. I think I think they're both comp beasts for sure. Um, but I think that Ty is a lot more calculated, and maybe a little bit more quiet with the moves that he's going to make. I think Tucker was very out there with the moves that he was going to make, and I mean, I can see the similarities, but I think they're very different people. Maybe similar gameplay, very different people.
And what are your thoughts on Chemo? It's this season's only LGBTQ rep.
Yeah, I love Chemo. I don't think he has played a very aggressive game. I think he's really smart and I think he understands the game very, very well. And I think he lined himself up with the right people at the beginning of the game. But I do love Chemo. I was speaking with Dennis the other day and saying that I know that if I were in that house, I probably would have aligned with Chemo. I think he's just like good people. But game wise, he could have done a little more.
Does anyone on this cast remind you of yourself or anybody else from your season?
Um, that's a good question. I see a lot being on the show and then watching the show a different season. You do see yourself in like everyone. There's a little bit of everyone that I can relate to, like Angela, the way that she's so emotional and just acts from her emotions. Like I can relate to that. Um, Chelsea, just how she's always getting in there and making sure like her moves are the moves that happen. I can relate to that. Mackenzie being kind of the underdog at the beginning, people wanting her out to then lining herself up really well to the end. So there's a few players that I can kind of see myself in, but no one's quite the same.
What about anybody else from your season that you see similarities in?
Oh, like with from people from BB26 to my cast.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I think like Tucker and Anthony have some similarities in that They aren't afraid to do the big thing. Um, there's no one quite like Spicy V. I just think our cast was so unique. It's really hard to compare. I don't know. I don't think, do you? Do you see any?
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah, that's a hard question.
So looking back at premiere night, the house guests were given the option to vote a 17th house guest into the game. Would you have voted for Ansley to come into the game? Are you someone who's of a mindset of that could be another ally for me, or is that, oh, that's more competition, let's keep them out?
I definitely think I would be afraid of it. I think I would be scared that it would be competition, but I also think, knowing Big Brother, there has to be a punishment probably either way. So I'd be afraid to not vote her in. And knowing that it's probably a twist, like I would want to vote her in just to see what happened, because if she didn't come in, I would think that's a waste of an opportunity.
Did you think that before the premiere episode that 70th house guest was that going to be an actual person? Because last year they teased the 70th house guest, ended up being Suri. It was a big deal. Did you think
Yeah.
it was going to be something similar to that this year?
I kind of got like a little hints of like it could be, it's very like computerized, maybe AI, but I didn't think it was going to be what it was. No. I was kind of hoping it would be like a special guest, but I'm happy that it was an AI and not like a returning house guest, because they all get a fair chance.
So speaking of Ansley, what do you think of the AI theme this season and the AI arena?
I love the AI arena. Um, it doesn't have to necessarily be, oh, there's my dog, sorry. It doesn't necessarily have to be AI for me to like it. I like that there was a competition happening right before the live eviction. Yeah, no, I love that there's three people on the block, and then right before eviction, like you have one more chance. There's no back door in that scenario. But I am glad that they got rid of it later on, because I don't think that you can sustain an entire season that way. Like you just don't have enough time to strategize of who you're going to vote out. But I did really love that they added that in this year.
Yeah, it completely changes the game because without the AI arena, you know days before who's going home, and now you have no idea, so you can't make promises, and it
Yeah,
changes the game completely.
I would have full on anxiety sitting on that block. I couldn't handle it, but I love watching it.
Do you think this is something they should bring back in future seasons?
Yeah, I think it's a really cool component. I think having the ability to save yourself, because the whole backdoor thing, I know it's part of Big Brother and we love it, but sometimes it's unfair. And so I find like this is like the most fair way. Everyone battles it out one last time and you have a chance to save yourself. And yeah, I think it's a great addition. I think they should continue it.
What did you think of the Janky World twist? How would you have fared living outside, eating only pizza and ice cream all week?
Oh my gosh. I would go insane. We went insane just being on slop and having the whole house to ourselves. I That would be very, very mentally draining, as we saw for them. And it wasn't as entertaining as I wanted it to be, because I felt like the people that were left in the house were all very buddy buddy. Wasn't anyone really like after each other, so they were all getting along, minus the like Chelsea and Cam kind of blow up. It wasn't like that entertaining. Like a week was a really long time out there. I would have gone insane.
And how about on the pizza ice cream diet?
Oh, the pizza. Oh, I mean, I love pizza, but I don't think I could eat it for every meal. That's how I felt about slop. Slop wasn't that bad for me in the morning when you have it with maple syrup. But then when you have that every single meal all day, every day, you get like people were like hiding in the house and not talking and like being very depressed. So I cannot imagine having to eat pizza and ice cream. I also would be very upset. Like it's not clean eating. You're gonna feel sick all the time.
Who do you think that you would have aligned with if you were on this season?
I definitely think I probably would have gotten along really well with certain people, which I would naturally align myself with them. So, like I said, chemo. I think I probably would have gotten along with Quinn, Mackenzie. I'd like to say I would get along with Chelsea. I don't think I would do well with Angela or Lisa. Um, Tucker is an iffy one for me. I'm such a fan of his, but if I was on the show, I might, depending on if I was on his good side or bad side, I might butt heads with him. But yeah.
So this is the second consecutive season with a 7-person jury, with the previous 10 seasons all had 9-person juries.
Mhm.
Big Brother Canada usually has 7-person juries. What are your thoughts on 7 versus 9-person juries?
Um, I think 7 makes it a little bit more of like they have to deliberate a little bit harder. There's less people, so there's less opinions. It kind of just is a more condensed vote. I think it's pretty much the same. I mean, it's an odd number, it's just 2 extra people, but I prefer a 7-person jury. Um, I don't know. That's a really hard question because the more, I mean, everyone played in the game, so I feel like everyone kind of has a right to vote. So like the more people in the jury, the better. But I'm so used to 7 for Canada, so I like 7. 7's a nice number.
If your season had a 9-person jury, it would have been, I believe, Matthew and Vivek on the jury. Would they have both voted for you think, or no?
No, I don't think either of them would have voted for me if I was sitting next to Anthony. Absolutely not. Or sitting next to Alexis. I don't think. Nope, I don't think I would have got their vote. So
You didn't need either of them. So
I thank you.
so what's been the biggest surprise for you watching this new season?
The biggest surprise,
Yeah.
I really love how everyone's kind of playing their own game. Like every vote, barely any votes have been unanimous. I love that. I love that it's very unpredictable. Every Thursday, I truly don't know who's going to go home. And I love that spontaneity of the show because, at least our season, like I always knew who was going to go home. The whole house kind of knew. So I really love that everyone's kind of out for themselves in this game. I love that um, the alliances weren't really lasting all the way to the end. I kind of love the chaos of that and people kind of falling off and backstabbing each other. Yeah. And I'm really surprised how far Angela made it in this game. That was a shock. But kudos to her.
What about in the pre-jury phase when lots of people were volunteering for the block, like Cedric and Tucker, both of them the week they got evicted volunteered for the block.
This is what I'm saying about I love Tucker, but the gameplay is so risky. Like that is silly. You do not volunteer for the block. Even people being asked to go on the block and they're okay with it. Like, no, it's just rule number 1, don't volunteer to go on the block. It's absolutely silly.
So of the 4 remaining, who do you think is playing the best game?
I think Chelsea is playing the best game. I think Mackenzie is comp beasting and she has lined herself up very, very well. But I think like as a whole, strategy wise, winning, social game, I think Chelsea's playing everyone.
So who do you want to win versus who do you think will win at this point?
I want and I think Chelsea should win.
Did you make a preseason winner pick?
I did before I read everyone's bios, like before I even saw people's interviews, just based off of like reading their little blurbs. I picked Rubina, Cam, and Kenny. Those are my top 3. I still got 2 left in the final 4. But Chelsea was also someone that I was like, if she doesn't get voted out early, she can make it to the end just because she's so social and she seems like a very strong female player. And a lot of the times we see them leave early, but I'm very happy she's made it this far. And I really do hope she can pull out the win.
Yeah, so the last 3 seasons, I actually got all 3 winners correct. So I felt good going to this season, and then my pick this season was Matt. It was the first booze. So
Oh no! Well, to be fair, Matt got an unfair. He shouldn't have gone home. Poor Matt. Oh no! You predicted every other winner.
the last 3, I picked Xavier, Taylor, and Jag.
Wow. So who do you think? So who do you think? No.
Definitely Chelsea's going to win,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. So you think if Chelsea and Mackenzie are sitting next to each other, the jury will vote for Chelsea to win?
Yeah, I think Chelsea should beat anybody at this point. It's a good thing they got rid of Chemo, because I think Chemo is their only jury threat left.
Right. Yeah.
And we'll get into later who I thought was going to win your season.
Okay.
So is there anything else, BB26, you want to talk about before we get into you and your season a little bit?
No, I think we covered it. I think we covered all of it.
So
Let's talk about me.
So when did you start watching Big Brother US and Big Brother Canada?
Um, I think the first season that I watched of Big Brother US was like season 6. But then I went back and watched all of them. And I was just obsessed with it. Canada, when it first came, I auditioned for season 1. I didn't get on, and I boycotted it and I refused to watch it. I knew someone that was on season 1, so like I kept tabs, but I just never sat down to watch the episodes. It just felt like too close for comfort. And I did that pretty much every season that I didn't get on, which was all of them until season 12. But I did binge watch a lot of them when I was meant to go on season 11. I went and watched almost every season. Yeah, season 2, I didn't watch 4, 5, or 6, and then I watched all the rest.
Can you say who you knew on season 1?
Emmett.
And he did pretty well, so.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's from Nova Scotia, so we just know each other that way.
So how many times did you apply for Big Brother Canada?
I think I missed 2 years of audition, so 10, at least 10 times. I might have missed 1. I think I missed 2 years, but yeah.
And that's great that you applied that many times. You wanted to win, that you weren't discouraged not getting in the show, and the 10th time you got on and you won.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like season 1, I did get a call back, and it kind of gave me that reassurance that like it's not necessarily me that they don't like, it's just not the right fit this year. I was never going to give up on the dream. I just came close so many times that I knew I would just keep trying till I got it.
Obviously, you're happy that you got on season 12 and you won. But is there another season that you're like, oh, I wish I would have been this season, I would have done well? Or
No. I really enjoyed season 10. I really enjoyed the cast of season 10. I thought it was a really cool theme. Obviously I almost got on season 11, but after watching it, I was very happy that I did not. And yeah, no, everything happens for a reason. I think the earlier seasons of Big Brother Canada were very more like loose, and people were kind of more crazy. So in that aspect, maybe an earlier season would have been fun, but I'm very happy that I got the season that I did.
so obviously you won the game, but is there anything you wish you would have done differently in your season?
No, I can't. I mean, if I didn't win, I'm sure that there are certain things that I would have done differently. I watching it back, me freaking out on Vivek, not knowing the full story behind what was really going on. Like I felt really bad watching it back. But I can't have any regrets. I played with the tools that I had at the time, and I did my best knowing what I knew at the time, and I can't regret it because it ended up making me win.
Have you watched the full season back?
I have. I've watched it twice.
And what did you think of seeing yourself on TV?
I was really scared to see myself on TV, and I've done like acting stuff in the past, and I used to hate seeing myself on screen on camera. So I was terrified that I was going to hate it. But I actually loved it. I loved seeing the show through a viewer's eyes rather than being in the house, and just getting to see the behind the scenes, like what people were saying in the diary room, finally getting to see people's conversations in other rooms that I wasn't in. I loved watching the show. But again, winning is a lot different than watching it and you wish you did something differently. So it might be a little more painful to like watch certain episodes, but I thoroughly enjoyed every episode.
And your season was the first since BB Can 5 that had an intro. Were you happy about having an intro on your season?
Obsessed. We didn't know that we were going to have that. I mean, we did some like press, but we didn't really know what they were doing with it. So the first time that I got to see it was during the BB Can Awards. So I was in the house, and I felt like I was on Vanderpump Rules. It was iconic. The best intro of any season ever, US, Canada.
Has your perception of the game changed now that you're a viewer rather than a player?
You know what? It's not really like watching. I feel so far removed from the US version. I don't know how I would feel if I watched another Canadian season after I've been on, but watching it, watching BB26, I just resonate a lot with the house guests. I know what they're feeling. The first day they walked in, like I just kind of know the emotional roller coaster that they're on. And every time they're going down to like final 6, final 5, final 4, I just remember what that felt like. So I just sympathize with them a little bit more. But when it comes to the game, like it doesn't take away the magic at all from watching the game.
What were you thinking when Anthony and Spicy V walked into the house on first night?
Oh my God. I was so overstimulated. It was night one, just met everyone. And then now these two all-star. It's really hard to even compute what's happening. Everything's so overwhelming. I was excited. Like, it was just exciting. I knew it was going to be a big twist. I knew the viewers were going to love it. So I was just really excited that they were just doing something big this year.
Did you suspect something was up when there's only 12 of you in there?
Oh yeah. I I saw there was only 12 chairs. There was only 12 champagne glasses. And I'm like, this doesn't seem right. There's always like 14 or 16 house guests. I thought there was going to be 4 more people walking through the door. So yeah, we were all pretty suspicious. There was something up.
Do you know why they did 14 instead of 16? Because I think the previous season they'd done 16.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why.
So were you happy that what did you think of like Anthony Spicy watching them their season? Were you happy with them that was coming in as the returning players?
Yes, I was a little terrified. I mean, you have to be. They're very good players. And Spicy, I was really scared, like, oh my gosh, she doesn't like me. This is not going to be good. Anthony, I know that he's very good at manipulating the game. So I just was really focused on like, I need them to like me and I really need to get on their good side as soon as possible.
I have a fan question from someone named Avery Martin. She wants to know, what was your favorite memory from your season?
Oh, Aves, top of the key. Oh my God, favorite memory? Oh God, there's too many. Maybe when we like made up our own raps. There was like a day when we were just thinking about raps and we spit them out like at the end of the day. That was a really fun day. Um, the day that we got alcohol was a really fun memory day. We all were just so in love with each other and like crying, and that was a really special day.
So speaking of Avery, was an alliance with you, her, and Dennis ever something that was going to happen?
Oh yeah, we called ourselves the Queerios, because we were the queer people in the house. We, I think we all wanted that. I think we all had a very like um unspoken respect for one another because we all kind of bonded that we were queer people in the house. But Dennis would never really solidify anything verbally ever. He was too scared to set anything in stone. So we were looking out for Dennis. Avery and I were always very close from the beginning, and we kind of started an alliance like day 2. So we really wanted to work with Dennis. Unfortunately, Anthony wanted him out, and at that time we could not go against that force. So yeah.
And when I asked Avery this, she also said that him winning all those competitions early made a big target on him, and you
Yeah,
guys didn't want to be attached to that.
Avery didn't want to be attached to that. I was kind of pushing for, yes, he's winning competitions, but he could be on our side, so it could benefit us. But I do understand the threat of someone, winning 2 vetoes in a row. It's kind of intimidating, especially if you don't have that 100% trust with them. It might be better to get them out now rather than later. But I can't say I wish I worked with Dennis because maybe I wouldn't have won, but I do think he had a very unfair hand, and I would have loved to see him go further.
So someone who was a close ally to you was Todd. If on the block week 4, if it ended up being Todd and Tola, who would have went home that week?
I'm so glad we didn't get to find that out, but I think Kayla was really flip-flopping, and I think she was going to vote out Todd. I was very frustrated that week. I don't know if it showed it a lot on the dailies, but we all decided we are going to keep Todd, and then Kayla started kind of going back and forth, and that's kind of what started the suspicion that Kayla might be playing both sides. I could not understand why she wanted to keep Tola, but I think Todd would have went home, unfortunately. So
And
thank
so
God.
if Todd leaves that week, how is your game different? Do you think you could still win the game?
I do because I mean I was really protecting Todd. Um, I don't know if Todd really was doing. I mean, I know he was protecting me, but I actually think it was a detriment how close I was with Todd. People were really targeting us. People really wanted to split us up the entire game. So Todd staying was good for me because he's my ally. I know he would never put me on the block. I know he would never vote me out. So keeping him was beneficial to me, but it also was a risk because people were already wanting us to be split up. So if he would have went home, I don't know, because us both being a target is better than just me being a target. So it might have not been very good for me.
How do you think your season would go if they ran it back? If they put the 14 of you into the house again right now, how do you think your season would go differently?
Knowing what we know,
Yes.
oh, oh, oh. I think that people would go after Spicy and Anthony a lot harder. Maybe not Anthony, though. I actually still think people would align themselves with him, even though he's so good at manipulating everyone. But Spicy, I think, would be gone. Vivek would still be gone, I think, early. Goose might be gone a little bit earlier. That's tough. I think Kayla would go far. All the people that got wronged, I think would have a redemption. Dennis, he would come back with a vengeance. It'd be very interesting.
What about Donna? Do you think Donna would go further?
Donna? Yes. Oh my God, yes. Again, unfair hand. She was dealt. She shouldn't have gone home. Donna, I when I locked eyes on Donna, I was like, she might win this game. And she kind of seemed like competition to me, but instead of making her competition, I made her my ally. We became best friends. And I really wanted to ride that whole game out with her. But I think Donna would, she got robbed.
So when I asked Goose the same question, he said the same thing, that he thinks the returning players to be targeted early. So were they not targeted early the first time?
Because we knew nothing. So we're so new. Obviously we're threatened by these returning all-stars, but they also have a lot of wisdom. They have a lot of intel. They know they played this game before. So like navigating through the game under their shadow seemed a lot more beneficial than getting them out. And then now we just have to go after each other. I don't know how to explain it. It felt, I think we all were like, hey, we can't let them win the game, but we kind of need them to guide us through this game. And we can use them as a shield for most of the game.
So is that why people wanted to bring Anthony at the end? Because you guys said we're not going to let a returning player win, so that's why he was there.
If I had it my way, I would not have brought him to the end or had him even be there for this long, but no one was willing to go after him. And that was the trickiest part is, he had the hot chocolate alliance, he had Spicy on his side. And with that lined up, it would be very difficult to get him out. So I recognize that very early on that there's no one's going to vote him out right now. No one's going to put him up. So he's going to have to come to the end, but I wasn't letting him win on my watch.
So my winner pick for your season was actually Vivek, which that was obviously not a good pick. There was really nobody that I was too confident. I guess I'm much better picking Big Brother US winners, but he was my winner pick preseason.
Well, you know what? Vivek is very smart. And I think from what I remember, his strategy going into the house, he really wanted to like be that master manipulator kind of player. He seemed very reserved. So I can understand he had a lot of potential. I just think he made a few too many mistakes.
So who did you guys think that was going to be Canada's favorite? Were you surprised at all when Todd won that?
It's very different when you're in the house. I thought Avery had a really good chance of winning because she was so and Matt as well, because they were so loved in the house. Everyone really loved them. I figured Canada must love them too. Todd, I wasn't sure if Canada was seeing what I saw in Todd. Like, I didn't know if he was getting a lot of diary room time. I didn't know if they were showing like how funny he was. But towards the end, I was like, I think Todd should win because he's just such a character and he's just so innocent and sweet and hilarious. So yeah, I think it went to the right person, but there was a few people that I wasn't sure. There was a lot of lovable people in that house.
Yeah, I remember telling you in our exit interview that I thought you were probably second in that voting.
Yeah, which thank you. And that's crazy. I think Anthony said something while we were in the house. He's like, I wouldn't be surprised if you were up there too, which you just have no idea what people are thinking of you. Because you have no idea what they're showing. Like, I'm so loud and crazy. Like, I could be annoying to people, and I probably was. I really didn't think I had fans. So coming out and knowing that I did, and that I might have been close to winning, that is crazy and so heartwarming. I can't believe it.
I know in Big Brother US they used to reveal the top three for
Yeah,
America's Favorite Player. Did they ever do that for Canada? I don't remember if they did.
they didn't. They didn't this year, at least. No, they didn't. I was hoping that they would, because I wanted to know who the top three were. But I guess, like, from X, like Twitter, there was some polls, so I kind of guess who was up there. But I think Todd won by a landslide, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, so Taylor's the only winner who won the game and got
Yeah,
favorite player. So
almost had it.
so who have you kept in touch with from your season?
I have kept in touch with almost everybody from my season. I think the people I talk to the most are probably Donna, Avery, Lexus, Kate. I talk to everybody. There's a few people that, like, I don't talk to as often, but everyone that I was really close to on the show, I continue those relationships outside the show.
But there's nobody you have like bad blood with or anything.
Nobody. No. Oh, I talk to Dennis a lot too. He'll be mad if I don't shout him out.
So how did you expect the jury vote to go once you got to the final two? Were you surprised by anyone's vote in specific?
Um, oh my gosh, yes. Again, you really don't have a concept of what is really happening when you're inside. I had a feeling that I had a chance of winning against Anthony after he chose to take me. I could kind of hear people cheering, and I was kind of like, oh my God, do I maybe have a chance here? Once the jury questions started, I was really, and I knew about the hot chocolates at that point. So I was unsure how Kayla would vote. I thought she would be the swing vote. I thought I had Spicy for sure. I had Todd for sure. I had Avery for sure. I definitely thought Tola was going to vote for Anthony. I had no idea how Goose was going to vote. And then Kayla, who am I missing? Oh, Lexus.
Lexus.
Kayla, I thought Lexus will vote for Anthony. And I thought if Kayla votes for Anthony, it could be a 4-3 vote. But I really wasn't sure. But as soon as she asked her question to him, I had a feeling that she wasn't very happy with him. And I thought I had a chance. I was shocked, jaw on the floor, that Tola voted for me. Did not expect that.
I remember you said that in our exit interview that you were shocked by Tola's vote, and you didn't like Anthony's comment that why he brought you to the final two because he thought you were more beatable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you think that you rank among the other Big Brother Canada winners?
Oh gosh. Everyone won for so many different reasons. Like, I think that my win is pretty unique because I won by just being myself, and I beat an all-star. Like, that is my win. So it's you can't really compare the wins, and then you have Ty, who just kind of won his way to the very end, and you had no choice but to give him the win. And then Tyshawn, like, who played such a really good social game. So I'm just thinking, I'm going backwards from the winners. Kevin Jacobs, iconic. Like, I can't compare to him. He's a mastermind. So I don't know how I rank. Maybe in the middle.
So what does it mean to possibly be the last Big Brother Canada winner ever?
I hope it's not the case. I really don't wear that as a badge of honor. I know people are like, wow, you're the last winner. Like, that's amazing. I don't think it's amazing. I don't want this to end. I'm very grateful that I won, especially if it got canceled now. Like, I'm so glad I got on when I did, but I just want to see more. I want to see more people win. I don't want it to end here, because then people are going to forget about me, and I don't want them to.
But if you're the last, they went out with a bang as the first woman to win in 60 years, the third LGBTQ winner versus Kevin.
Yes, it's it's such an honor. I'm so grateful. I'm very proud that I did pull out the win. It's going to be so meaningful to me no matter what happens. And being the last one could be pretty iconic, but if I had it my way, I want another season, and I want it soon.
feel like it's probably better to be the first winner than the last one.
Right. Right. It's like, oh, how many seasons were there? Like, I don't know. But either way, I hope it was a memorable season. I think it was. I loved our season. I'm maybe I'm just biased, but I thought it was such an entertaining season. The production was insane. The comps were insane. So I hope for years to come that it's one that people will rewatch and remember.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nothing to do with you, but it's almost like, oh, they canceled the show after Bayleigh won. Like,
Just mic drop. Like they
So,
can't. How can they compete after me? That's why they canceled it.
so did you do anything special with the prize money?
Well, if paying off my student loans is special, then yes, that was special to me. I had a lot of debt that I racked up over my years of being in school. But we went on a trip. Took my girlfriend, and we went with a couple other people from the show just to kind of unwind. So that was money well spent. I went to Europe this summer. That was money well spent. And honestly, just being able to like I got my mom and my sister tickets to Ellen and got them on Airbnb and hosted them in Toronto for the weekend. And like I was never able to do that for anyone in my family before. So it just feels really good to like just be generous. Because I could be. I put a lot of it away. So it feels like I have nothing. But I definitely, I had some fun with it. I invested it, paid off some debt. I was responsible, and then I was also irresponsible at the same time.
I remember the prize money is 100K, but what else did they give you to win exactly? I don't remember.
So the prize money was 100K. There was a lot of other sponsorships that came in the form of money. So, like $10,000 to winners shopping spree. It's just $10,000. So it was a lot more money than I thought it was going to be. I also got a trip to Cuba, which I haven't done yet. I'm gifting that to my sister and her kids, but I might join as well. And a car, my Infinity. It's beautiful. It's a 2-year lease, but it's still, that was like the first time that I could actually see my prize, like something tangible. And it became very real for me when I picked up the car. And it's just very overwhelming. Because a lot of these things I just never had before. Like I don't come from money. I've always been struggling with money. I've always been like a struggling actor and bartender and all the little jobs that I've had. It's just been really difficult for me to get ahead. So I'm so grateful for all of it.
The 750K in the US would be much, much better, probably.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have to work for a really long time. Yeah, it would be, but it's taxed and ours isn't. So there's some perks to it, but yeah, that would be a lot nicer.
So if it couldn't have been you who won the season, who would you have wanted to win? Would you want it to have been Todd or one of the women?
I think Spicy would have been a very iconic winner. I really was planning to bring her all the way to final two. And I said if I had lost to her, I couldn't have been mad because I think she played an incredible game. Yeah, I think, and yes, Todd, but I really wanted a woman to win this year. So, and then like Avery, all the girls deserve to win the game. And any one of them sitting in the end winning would not have been an upset. It would have been amazing. I think they all played. I think the girls ran this whole season. So I think any one of them would deserve it. But I think my vote would be for Spicy. I think out of all of us, she played the best.
Other than yourself, who is your favorite Big Brother Canada winner?
John Party, love him. Um, that's so hard. But
Have
just
you
I'm
met
thinking
have you met a lot of the winners?
I have. Yeah, I have. Um, so like depends on how we're asking the question. Kevin Jacobs was one of the more iconic winners for me, just because no one really understood how good of a game he was playing till the end. But then I have people that I just like love so much, like John Party, also iconic winner. There's a lot of good ones, a lot of good ones, but those are my top two.
And what about for Big Brother US? Who are your favorite winners?
Evil Dick, just an iconic season. Um, Rachel Riley. Um, oh, there was a lot of robbed people. A lot of my favorite players didn't win. Taylor, obviously, that was a great win. She was probably, yeah, that was the more recent iconic winners. But like Evil Dick always comes to mind for me. Like that season it's probably my favorite season.
Yeah, for me, for US, it's Taylor, and then for Big Brother Canada, it's Kevin Jacobs for me.
Yeah, yeah, that checks out.
So, what are your thoughts on Arissa Cox as the host?
Obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with her. I did not know that I would be this obsessed with her. Um, I'm very vocal when I watch Big Brother US. Like Julie, really, I don't know why everyone's so obsessed with Julie. And I wasn't really sure how I was gonna feel about Arissa. I just, watching the show and being in front of her are two very different things. She is just so classy and cool and beautiful. Like she's intimidating how cool she is. I love her.
Have you met any Big Brother Canada players from Halifax? But I looked up to see if there were any other Big Brother players from Halifax, and the only one I could find was Kyle Moore from season
Yeah.
10.
I have not met Kyle. I have no idea who he is. Usually, like, Halifax is pretty small, so you usually know if someone's from Halifax, you would like think that you might know them from somewhere. No idea who he is. I've never met him. I like Emmett's from Nova Scotia, so I've met him. But yeah, no one else is from Halifax, I don't think.
But someone you did know before the show was Ty from season 11. So I need to hear the full story of how you knew Ty.
So Ty and I dated in like 2019, I think, right before COVID. Um, and I actually, and he'll say this too, but I got him on the Big Brother train. He never watched it before. I think that was the season of the cookout we were watching, and he got really into Big Brother. And then, we kept in touch. We were like cordial exes, but I moved back to Halifax for a few years. We kind of, we didn't really keep in touch that much. So I thought I was going on season 11. And he was going on season 11, but unbeknownst to me. And when I got cut, um, like at the last minute, it happened to be his birthday that day. And I hadn't talked to him in a while. I was in Toronto and it was his birthday. I'm like, I'll just wish him a happy birthday to be nice. We usually do that for each other. And I noticed that his Instagram was not active, like he wasn't posting anything. And I started to get extremely paranoid because I was already just in a paranoid state from getting caught. And I was like, what if he's on Big Brother? And that's the reason he's not on social media. And my friends thought I was crazy, but I was right. And it was just the odds. I just couldn't believe it. It was just wild. But then, yeah, and then he went on to win, obviously. He called me like the day after he got out of the house and we talked about it. And I was really happy for him at that time because I had dealt with my emotions of not getting on the show. And honestly, I think him winning the season before me gave me so much motivation for me to win myself. There was like the Walk of Fame in the house and with all the winners' names on it. And I would have to walk over his name every day. And nobody knew that I had known him or dated him. So I kind of just kept it to myself. And it was just like that little motivation to keep me going.
So since that you got him into Big Brother, did he give you a gift or something for winning?
Yeah, he didn't. He just said he was going to pass the crown to me. So I guess that was the gift. He's been extremely supportive and just so helpful through this process of transitioning back into normal life. He's really been there for me. And I think it's been such a gift for us to like have these experiences separately, but also together and have each other to like lean on. And it's kind of like a nice full circle moment. It was like it was meant to happen. And now we're really good friends. So I'm really grateful for it.
Before you went into the house, did you talk to him? Did he give you any kind of advice? You guys didn't talk about it.
No, we did not talk about it. I think he probably, he said, I hope you do audition again next year. And like he was hoping that he would see me on there at some point. He knew I was never going to give up until I got on the show. But I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody that I was going on. So no, he didn't have a chance to give me any advice. I didn't want to have anyone like giving me advice or telling me how I should play. I just knew I needed to get there and feel it out for myself.
I think you're a better winner than him anyways. So
Thank you.
so have you been asked to do any other shows? And is there any other shows that you'd be interested in doing?
I don't think I can like say. I turned one down. It just wasn't the right fit for me, wasn't the right time for me. Um, and there are definitely a few shows that I am interested in being a part of. So we will see if that all works out, but can't say too much on it.
And I know Traders Canada is having Ned on right now, and I know Kevin did Amazing Race Canada. Are those two shows that you would be interested in?
Yeah, definitely. Those shows are definitely up my alley. I think I could do well at both of them, given the chance. But again, being a winner and going on these shows, you get targeted pretty early. But I would love to do either one of those shows.
How about Big Brother again? Would you play Big Brother again?
Absolutely, 100%. I would go torture myself for another 3 months.
Did you watch reindeer games in the US this past winter?
I didn't, but I know that Brittany was on. Well, she's one of my favorite players. A lot of my favorite people were on it. I didn't get into it. Was it good?
It was good. I was going
Uh,
to ask, would this be something that you would want to see Canada do? If they're not going to do a full Big Brother season, they could do the short competition based thing.
yeah, but maybe not reindeer games, maybe summer games because we're always in the house in the winter. Maybe give us some summer games. Yes, I would love any form of Big Brother Canada. I will take it.
Yeah, if they can't get the full show, they can give us something,
They can give
shortened
us
version.
something. Bring back all the winners or something. Bring me back. As long as I get to like go back in some way, I would love that.
How has your personal life, your career been impacted by your time on Big Brother?
My personal life and my career. Well, I was bartending, like I said, and I was also doing personal training before I went on the Big Brother house. I'm not bartending anymore, which is so nice. I really didn't want to go back to it. My personal life and my personal life hasn't changed much at all. I have such a close knit group of friends. I'm so lucky to have them. The only thing that's really changed is that I get recognized more when I go out, which I love. I love running into Big Brother fans. So yeah, I guess like that's changed a lot, and just like social media in general. I got a lot of followers from it, a lot of brand deals from it. So I'm really milking that and really enjoying that and super grateful for that. So that's definitely like career wise. I'm definitely more on the social media end of things right now and I'm loving it.
And how has being on reality TV impacted your view of yourself? Have you learned anything new about yourself through this journey?
Yes, I've learned so many things about myself. I really thought that all of my insecurities would come out and emotionally I thought I even though I was extremely emotional, I thought I would be a lot more hard on myself being on reality TV, and I learned like just how strong I was. And I didn't think I could survive that long by myself in a crazy house like that. So I surprised myself with, my resilience and being able to like go on without having any of my friends or family there for support. I Yeah, there was a lot of really good takeaways. There's also some things, that I will learn constructively watching myself on reality TV, but for the most part, it's all been very positive and always taking it as a lesson and taking it onward on my journey.
So how would you be different on a future show?
I think I would be a little less talkative. I think I should observe a little bit more. I also think I should be a little more skeptical of people. I put a lot of trust into everybody. I was so naive to hot chocolate. I did not think Spicy V was behind a lot of the things happening inside the house. I just put a lot of my trust into people. So I think I need to be a little bit more guarded when it comes to trusting, and then just maybe tone down the talking and just observe.
What advice do you have for future house guests based on your own experience?
There goes my dog again. I'm sorry if you can hear him. My advice would just to be stay true to yourself. Even though that's so cliche, but it really, you do yourself a disservice when you're trying to be a certain player. If you are a manipulative person and you are a strategic person in real life, use that to your advantage. But if you're emotional and you're opinionated and, whoever you are, just bring that more of it. Like, just shine your light the brightest it can shine, because I really do think that that gets people much farther than they think.
And how do you think that you would fare on an all-star Big Brother Canada season?
I think that on my season, I think I proved to be a pretty trustworthy person. I think people know that I'm usually telling the truth. I'm very genuine, and it's really hard for me to lie or hide my emotions on my face. So I think people would maybe lean towards trusting me and working with me, because I really do value my relationships in a game like this, and I have people's backs when I say that I do, and I work really hard for those people. So I think that I would be trustworthy. Yeah, I don't know. I hope people would just, that would be enough to keep me in the game a lot longer.
What about a Big Brother Canada versus Big Brother US winners season?
Ooh, that would be good. That would be good. I think I could do pretty good if I'm looking at all the winners from their seasons and ours, like comparing. You want to go after the people that are sly, people that can easily manipulate you and lie to you, and backstab you. I'm not really that person, so I don't think people would target me right away, which is a good thing. And I think socially I could get people to be my friend, so that would be good.
Have you connected with any Big Brother US winners?
I have. I talked to Jag a lot. I've had some communication with Taylor. Um, I've talked to a lot of people from the cookout their season. So yeah, I've been chatting with a lot of them, which is like so crazy, because when you watch them, you think like they're celebrities, but then that person, they think you're a celebrity. It's very weird, but they're all just so great. It's really nice to connect with the US people.
If Big Brother Canada doesn't come back, would you like to see them allow Canadians on Big Brother US? Because they do allow Canadians on US Survivor.
Yes, we need that. Let us have a chance at 750,000. I would love that. I think more shows need to include Canadians, because the money is better out there, and I and they have more money to put into the show, and it's just, there's more viewers. I would love that. I would love nothing more than that.
Yeah, and especially Big Brother Canada doesn't come back. I think a winter season versus US versus Canada is something that could happen, because part of why they say it hasn't happened yet is because they don't have enough winners who would say yes. And I think there's a lot of you in Canada who would do it.
Yes, I agree. Now just take 12 of them and 12 of us. We'll battle it out.
Well, I don't. There's only 11 Canada winners, so.
Oh yeah, there's only 11. That's right. Season 8 didn't have one. 11 of us.
Well, the twins won season 4, so it's two of them technically. So it is
True.
12.
True. Okay.
But I think there's some of the Canadian winners who may not do it.
May not do it. So maybe like well, if they want to do a 16-person household, we could pick top 8.
So what are your thoughts on Big Brother Canada's cancellation? Do you think that it'll come back at some point?
I definitely think it has to come back. I think it's a staple now in everyone's household. They love Big Brother. It has done so well for the last 12 years. I think, yes, I think that a network would be silly to not pick that up and make it part of their programming.
And what do you think was the determining factor in getting canceled in the first place?
I think it has to do with budgets and programming. And I think that Chorus Entertainment didn't have room for it, unfortunately, anymore in their schedule. I don't think it has anything to do with, um, you know, viewership or the way the seasons were going. I know the live feeds, a lot of people were upset about live feeds, but that has nothing to do with why the show was canceled. It was a money thing, and it was a programming thing. It's happened before. It got picked up again. I think it'll happen again.
And do you have any upcoming projects or events that you'd be excited to share with your fans?
None that I can disclose, but just stay tuned on my journey, and things will be coming. I'm never not working on something.
All right, Bayleigh, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a
Thank you,
pleasure to catch up
Josh.
with you again and get your insights in the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Josh. It was nice to see you too.